I think it's crazy how so many of you photographers and filmmakers and YouTubers are so intimidated by the freaking iPhone 13 Pro. It's crazy. I've seen it in the forums. Oh, they didn't improve enough in the iPhone 13 Pro, or my camera's still better. Like, come on, grow up here. Obviously, it is still better, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So I want to talk about today, since there's been so much negativity around the iPhone 13 Pro. Like, should people feel like their cameras are inferior? Should people be, scared that their $4,500 camera setup is now inferior because the iPhone 13 Pro has faster apertures and macro mode and cinematic mode and Prores and the ability to edit Prores and 10-bit HDR video all from the freaking phone in your pocket? Should you feel threatened? Can we just first appreciate the level of tech that we are experiencing? Like, it's awesome to see all of this stuff in a phone that we can literally pull out our pockets. The same thing that we text and make phone calls on and, browse Instagram and Twitter, we can film 10-bit HDR ProRes from within our freaking pocket. That is absolutely nonsense, right? So let's just clap it up for the advancement of technology, and this is what we need to keep technology moving forward. So there's a reason why film sets, Netflix, all of these places still use big professional cameras, mirrorless cameras, cameras with bigger sensors, multiple inputs, codecs, all of that stuff. There's a reason, because phones have not reached the level of computational photography and videography. Phones have not reached the point where they can replace large sensor cameras. They're getting better, right? But we got to remember physics. In this phone right here, these are tiny sensors being aided by computer power, right? That cannot replace a large sensor film camera or a large sensor mirrorless camera. This cannot replace those. So I don't know why some of y'all are so intimidated. Is it because you need to justify your purchase, or you don't want to feel like a phone can take better video or photos than your $4,500 camera setup? Is that it? Why don't you be honest with yourself? I think that is it. Listen. No, this phone cannot replace a camera, right? We saw in the Apple video, this thing, well, not this phone, but the iPhone 13 Pro taking some literally ridiculous video clips, right? But we also have to remember, that was a controlled film set, y'all. That was a $2 million film set. Lights, gaffer, all this stuff was there, but they used a phone instead. Any camera would thrive and be able to make great footage in that scenario. So what y'all don't realize is when you get that shiny new iPhone 13 Pro and you get it in your house where the lighting is terrible and all that stuff, your footage is not gonna look like that. And there's still a reason why film companies, content creators and stuff like that, why we use larger sensor cameras, and that's because quality, right? Unfortunately, small sensors have not gotten to a point where they can use computational photography or videography to outclass bigger sensor cameras, and that's why you don't need to be worried if you are worried. But let's talk about what this means moving forward, and do we even need something like an iPhone 13 Pro that has all that crap built into it? Do we need something like that? Let's talk about that. Do we even need stuff like this? And I think that is also not an easy question to answer, because for me, for example, right, if I'm gonna go through the hassle of filming in ProRes and wanting to capture the most dynamic range, etc., I'm gonna pull out a large sensor camera, because if I'm going through all of that, that means that I want the best video quality that said camera has to offer. However, just because that is my use case doesn't mean that there's not a person down the street where their iPhone is their only camera that they have. And who wouldn't want, if it's their only tool to make videos, the best video camera that they have access to? And for some people, that is the phone in their pocket. So I'm not against all the technology advancements and the new features and all that stuff in the iPhone 13 Pro. In fact, I can't wait to test them out. I'll order one. Everybody's use case is different, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna be honest, after I do my testing and stuff like that, after the honeymoon period goes away, am I ever gonna use it again? Probably not. But I'm still excited to see how good of video footage that thing can put out. I will be making some videos and some cinematics and stuff like that. But everybody use case is different. So you can't sit there and say like, yo, nobody needs ProRes in the phone. Like, okay, you might not need it, but that doesn't mean somebody else can't make use out of it or can't make use out of cinematic mode or whatever. If the features aren't for you, then shut up. They just not for you. they are for some people. So stop hating on the people that bought the phone because they want the best that they can get out of their pocket. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. And also, y'all gotta remember, like I said earlier in this video, we need technology to keep advancing. If we are to ever get to a point where our phones can take just as good as video and photos as our cameras, I mean, that gap is being bridged, but we need technology to keep moving forward. I think it's also important to consider, like, what are we using this stuff for, right? Most people are using a phone to create social media content. I probably should have said this earlier in the video, but whatever. People that are using professional or, you know, expensive mirrorless cameras or cinema cameras or whatever, they are not just creating content to go on TikTok. They're creating with purpose, and I think it's important to remember that. But anyways, I'm getting bit up out here. Let me know what you think about this topic, and also if you copped the iPhone 13 Pro or not, or did you wait, or do you not have a need for anything that the iPhone 13 Pro or regular 13 has brought to the table? I'm super curious to know what y'all think. But anyways, it's getting late. I'm getting bit up. Got to get dinner on, and it's Friday night. I'm about to get out of here. So peace and chicken grease. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.